hear that train a-comin', it's rolling round the bend, and I ain't seen the sunshine since I don't know when. I'm stuck at Folsom Prison and time keeps dragging on, but that train keeps a-rolling on down to San Antonio. When I was just a baby, my mama told me, son, always be a good boy, don't ever play with guns. But I shot a man in Reno just to watch him die. When I hear that whistle blowing, I hang my head and cry.
It's James here from GoodGuitarist.com, and in today's lesson I'm going to teach you how to play Folsom Prison Blues by Johnny Cash. And this song is great for beginners. It's just 3 chords, E, A, and B7, which are all really easy shapes. There's lots of cool tricks to switch between them nice and smoothly. The one thing that's a little different with this one is it's not a 12-bar blues, it's an 11-bar blues. So one of the chords is, just chopped off at the very end of it. And that might be a little strange to feel, because we love to feel things in groups of 4, and 4 fits into 12, but not 11. So that's the one thing that's different. Anyways, we're going to go over the chords and strumming, and we're also going to learn that intro riff. If along the way you find that you need any extra help, I have a free ebook that's completely free for all my subscribers that goes over all the basics of chords and strumming and all that stuff, all the fundamentals, everything that you need to know to feel good when you're playing and singing guitar. So that's completely free for all my subscribers. I'll put a link in the corner. Otherwise, we'll get started with the chord shapes. First, we have E. Then we have A. And there's also a B7 in there. And in the song, you're only ever going to have to switch from E to A, and then back to E, and then going from E to B7 and back to E. So let's check out both of those switches. Going from E to A, we can just take these 2 fingers here, our middle and ring finger, and we can move them down 2 times, and they end up right here on the G and B string, and then we put our first finger back. So we have our E chord, 1, 2, and then we put, make our A shape that way. And then when we're going back, I like to put my index finger down where it belongs on the E chord on the first fret of the G string, and then put those 2 fingers, move them like a unit. That's the basic trick there. And then when we're going from E to B7, we leave our middle finger down. The other 2 fingers, we lightly lift them up and we just kind of pivot them. They're just switching strings. So our first finger goes up and our ring finger goes down. And then we can put our pinky on the 2nd fret of the thinnest string. So we have our E chord, we just kind of pivot, and we make our B7 chord. And it's important to get your thumb over the top, lightly touching the string to mute it, or put your middle finger a little bit higher so that it's just resting underneath that string, muting it. Now, before we go any further and learn the strumming pattern, let's take a minute with those chord shapes and play through the entire chord progression. There's just one chord progression for this song. It's that 11-bar blues. Starting out on E, we're going to do downstrokes only, counting along so we can play each chord the right number of times. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 3, 4. 3, 2, 3, 4. 4, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we just do that over and over again. And that's the entire chord progression for the song. Now, when it comes to adding a strumming pattern, the one that I'd like to use goes like this. I'll do it slowly. And that is like the super famous country folk kind of strumming pattern, you know, where you have that. To play it, it's a little bit different for each chord shape. On the E chord, we pluck the thickest string, and then we do a downstroke. And when I do my downstroke, you could strum all the strings, or you could just aim for the higher ones, you know, like maybe the top 4 strings. It's up to you. It's up to how your guitar sounds. If your guitar's too bassy, when you do all of them, maybe just go for those ones. Totally up to your taste. So that's the first bit of the motion, you know, root, strum, and then we pluck the A string and we strum. So I'm going to put R for root and then A for alternate bass note, you know, because it's not the root, it's another note from within the chord. So on E, that's our root and that's our alternate. Root, down, alt, down. Root, down, alt, down. And you can see in the context of our strumming pattern, we're going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and when we add the counting. So that's how much we do for a single measure of E. So our song starts out with this 4 times over E because it starts with 4 E chords. Then we go to the A chord, and for the A chord, it's almost the same thing, except we flip around which ones are the roots and which ones are the alts. So our root is on the A string, root, down, and then our alt is the low E string. Otherwise, it's the same thing. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So we do that 2 times on A, then it's back to E, and then for the B7 chord, the pattern is the same as A. Root is on the A string, down, and then when we go to play the alt on the thickest string, we have to move our middle finger to the 2nd fret of the thickest string. So we move it from here to here, and then we can play that. So our middle finger follows which string we're plucking. Root, alt, root, alt. Now I want you to try the pattern on each of those 3 chord shapes, and when you're ready, we can put it together with our chord progression. Starting on E, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 1, 2,
When I was just a baby, my mama told me, son, always be a good boy, don't ever play with guns. But I shot a man in Reno just to watch him die. When I hear that whistle blowing, I hang my head and cry.
So that's it for the chords and strumming. You know, you just go through that progression 6 times, and that's the entire song. The only other thing to learn is that intro riff, and it's really straightforward, quite simple. It goes. It's based on the B7 chord, so we have that shape. Our first 2 notes are going to be just these ones, the one that your middle finger and that your index are playing. So that'll help you remember the notes. We start off with our middle finger. 1, 2, 3, 3 times, and then we play this note, the 1st fret of the D string. 1, 2, and then back to that first note. And then we put our middle finger down here, kind of like that alt bass note for the B7 chord. And we do a little bend. So I'm just squeezing my finger. And it doesn't have to be a huge bend. It's just very subtle. And then we play our chord progression, our strumming pattern on E one time. And then the words start. So let's go through that slowly. 1 and 2 and 3. And the song also ends with that exact same lick. It's the same riff, but we just have to work on when to start playing it. You know, that's the one thing I find with students that they'll always have trouble with is, great, I learned the chords, I learned the riff, now how do I put that together? So let's work our way from that riff into the first verse, and then we'll do the same thing for the very end of the song. 1 and 2 and 3. I hear that train coming. So you can just try that as many times as you need to. You can even slow it down using the icon in the corner. There's like a little gear icon, and you can say speed 0.75 and just watch that over and over again. Now, the end of the song, we're going to be playing our chord progression, and I'll just show you what it looks like at the very end from the B7 chord. Let that lonesome whistle blow my blues away. So what's happening there is we're at the very end of the song, and we're going from B7 into the very last E chord. And normally we would just play that with our strumming pattern once. But here we're actually going to play just half of it. So we're just going to play half our pattern on E, going 1 and 2 and then we're just going to play the root on beat 3 and go straight into our riff. So with some counting, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then we just finish our riff, and that's it. You know, that's the entire song from start to finish. It starts with the lick, play our chord progression 6 times, and then it ends with that lick, with that timing that we discussed. The only part that's missing is that solo, and that kind of is something that I'd like to do in a separate lesson, but I'll just show you. I'm just going to play through it, and I'll just put some tab at the top here so you can see how it goes, and if you want, you can go through it, but I'm not going to break it down. If you want that, let me know in the comments down below, and I can certainly do this on electric guitar and talk about the tone and all that other stuff. It goes like this, 3 and 4. Anyways, that's how you play Folsom Prison Blues by Johnny Cash. If you need any extra help, don't forget to check out my free ebook. I also have a complete beginner's course, which takes you from absolute beginner to confident strummer. You know, we learn songs along the way. We work on our rhythm. We work on our dexterity. We work on everything it takes in a step-by-step way that, you know, just makes sense. So please check that out. If you have any questions, ask in the comments section down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, I forgot to mention, if you want to play through the entire song with me with a backing track and all the solo parts and everything, that's on my Patreon page. It's exclusive to members of my Patreon page, so you can check that out as well. Otherwise, have a fun time practicing, and I'll see you soon.